The Asylum Demon is the first boss you encounter in Dark Souls. As such, it's very basic and not terribly hard. On the other hand, you have not had the opportunity to level up or improve your equipment yet, so you are stuck with whatever your class choice gives you. But considering the boss has barely over 800 hit points, this should be enough to handle him with relative ease. As befits a first boss, there are no complex patterns to his moves. He simply uses a variety of physical attacks. And the safest place to be during the fight is right behind him. Once you have positioned yourself there isn't really that much he can do to hit you. You need to sidestep and strafe a few of his attacks, but for the most part it is perfectly safe. You should however be wary of his flying up and butt slam attack, because that will also cause him to turn around. The advantage is that after he's finished with the butt slam, he has to take a while to get back on his feet, and you can use that time to circle around and once more hide behind him. He also has a backstep attack, which he very rarely uses, but that will also force you to reposition if you are trying to stay behind him. Aside from those moves, however, it should be quite straightforward, and you can use the openings between his attacks to go in and hit him yourself. So that's the general strategy that I'd advise. Now let's move on to some specifics. If you manage to kill the boss during the first encounter with him, you will be rewarded with the Demon's Great Hammer, which is quite a heavy strength weapon. It may seem like a nice thing to get a bonus for that more difficult kill, but it actually requires such high strength that you're unlikely to be able to use it for quite a while. And by that point, you could have gotten the Demon's Great Hammer another way, with a lot less hassle. But if you're somehow determined to get the Demon's Great Hammer as soon as possible, then you have two options. You can either sacrifice your starting gift by choosing Black Fire Bombs, which take 5 to kill him, or you could very slowly punch him to death. Since that will take a long time, however, I would not advise it. Unless your dodge timing is perfect, you will die a few times attempting to kill him with your bare hands, and you only do 2 damage per attack, so that's a project that will probably take hours. On the second encounter, the game is actually trying to teach you about plunging attacks, so that's the way you should be opening that fight. And if you use a jumping attack instead of a standard plunging attack from the balcony, you can actually get an additional hit in as well, causing some bonus damage and making the boss start at a significant disadvantage depending on your weapon choice. The boss basically starts with half health. And of course this time around you have a weapon and a shield, so your attacks will do a lot more than 2 damage per swing. However, you should be careful standing on the balcony. If you take too long deciding on what to do, the boss can fly up and smash you down. This will firstly do a large chunk of damage to you, and secondly rob you of the opportunity to plunge attack him, and thereby making the fight harder, but still manageable, of course. For the sorcerer, there's also the option of staying well away from the boss, waiting at one end of the arena and spamming your soul arrow. If he's still alive by the time he gets over to you, you can just run past him to the other end of the arena and rinse repeat from over there. And the hunter can employ similar tactics with his bow, but since the bow doesn't do good damage and is quite slow, you're probably better off just using the short sword. The Pyromancer also starts with a ranged attack, but the fireball is arcing far more than soul arrows, and so their range is severely reduced. Basically, you're best off treating the fireballs as though they were melee attacks, and only using them when you would also have an opening for a standard melee attack. But of course it does much more damage than a standard physical attack with the hand axe, so if you started as Pyromancer, feel free to use the fireballs, just be aware of their slower cast speed and low range. So in conclusion, this video should provide you with all the necessary information to have an easy time with the first boss. I hope you found this helpful. As always, feedback is highly appreciated, and have a good day. Bye bye!